Okay, and welcome along to another installment of the Pixiecasts. And I'm back in the United States. I was in New Zealand earlier on this morning talking to Trent, and now here I am in the afternoon, just coming up to 6 o'clock, just past 6 o'clock UK time. And I've got the lovely Kristin Whittaker all the way from New England, or the northeast of America. She'll tell us exactly where she is. Kristin, hi, good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, doing well. How about you?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, it's nice to see you. And the weather
Good.
looks absolutely beautiful behind you.
Yes, it really, as I was saying earlier, this is really what we live for here in Connecticut. We have terrible winters, we have really hot, humid summers, but fall is where it's at in New England. It's really beautiful out today.
Absolutely, yeah. And so you're able to go outside in just your debaser t-shirt.
That's right. Representing.
Is that your favorite Pixies t-shirt? Have you got many t-shirts?
I have a lot of t-shirts. I have to say this is my favorite one, though. I wear a lot of black. I have a cactus shirt, which I also wear quite a bit. And the Helen's shirt, the one that she designed, I wear quite a bit as well.
Yeah. So you've got quite a few. Probably not as many as Greg Flynn, though, yesterday, who I spoke to.
I know. I'm going to have to start stepping up my collection.
So what is it? Every time you go and see Pixies live, you get yourself a new t-shirt, do you?
Yeah, pretty much. I wear mostly band shirts and lately leggings. I don't think my jeans would even fit anymore at this point after, the COVID-19 pounds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you've put a few pounds like the rest of us in lockdown.
Yeah.
So, so tell us a little bit about where you live in Connecticut.
Sure. So I'm originally a Jersey girl. I'm from New Jersey.
You don't know Kate Hester, do you?
I've met her a few times. Okay. Yeah. I'm from a little bit further west. But yeah.
She tells me that she tells me all New Jersey women are always swearing and that. So you're going to be cursing for the next half an hour, are you?
I mean, I'll try to behave myself, but it might come out. You get me around my cousins and my Jersey really comes out, or if you get me angry or drunk, but it's the middle of the day here, so no, I should be able to behave myself relatively well. Try to keep it in check.
So New Jersey originally.
Mm-hmm. And my husband's from up here, so we lived in New York City for a bunch of years, and then we actually lived there during 9/11. His employment was affected by 9/11. He worked down in the financial district, so we had to move, and we could either move to New Jersey with my crazy Italian family or Connecticut with his super together normal family with his two lovely sisters. So we made the obvious choice and came up here. We've been up here for 16 years. We did, yeah. Thank God, because they've just gotten crazier over the years.
Really?
Jersey family.
So your family's Italian? Yeah.
Yeah, mostly.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Italian and German, but the Italians kind of took over.
Okay. So have you been to Italy at all, or not?
I have not. Right. I would really love to. I went to Portugal because my stepfather who raised me is Portuguese. Okay. So when I graduated from college, he brought me to Portugal and he showed me around. And other than that, I've only been to Belize and Canada and Mexico. Well, so it's not as easy. I mean, yeah, you guys are so lucky over there. You have all these different countries. Me driving to Maine would be like you driving to a whole different country with a different culture and language and food.
Yeah. We're very lucky. Normally, not at the moment, obviously, but not being able to fly in that. But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Getting around to see all different countries and that in Europe. And they do all have their own different languages and different cultures and foods and things like that as well. So each country you go to is a totally different experience to the previous one. So, no, you're absolutely right. But you've seen a fair bit of the world, though, in your part of the area. So it's nice that you can get around.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like the United States, we're pretty lucky here in a way, too, because there are such different cultures and the South has a very distinct culture, like the West Coast, the Northeast. So yeah. I'm definitely a Northeasterner. I love traveling around the country, but this is definitely home despite the crappy winters.
Yeah. So when it snows, then you get plenty of it, do you, in the winter?
Yeah, usually. I think it was last winter we had a pretty mild winter, but the one before that we had a crazy ice storm in October, and it took all the power lines down, and we didn't have power for 2 weeks.
Yeah, no,
it was
I remember
really
it.
horrible.
It got into our news as well over here. I do remember that now you say about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that looked crazy.
Terrible.
It really did. Yeah. So you were affected by that then?
We sure were. They canceled Halloween, which I think, you know, was what upset my kids the most. Not having heat in my house is what upset me the most. That sucked. But, you know, every now and then we'll get like a big storm. But the past couple of years, I don't know, because of global warming or what, it hasn't been as bad as, you know, you might get one decent storm with like 2 feet of snow. And then the rest of the winter is just like shitty out and gray and cold.
Yeah.
Not nice.
Okay. Sounds like England then, really.
That's why they call it New England.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I guess that's a good reason. Yeah. So you're a nurse by profession?
I sure am. Yep. I went to nursing school actually later in life. I stayed home with my kids for a bunch of years. And while I was home with them, I went to nursing school. But it's definitely my calling. Yeah. I absolutely love it. I work in women's health. So delivered babies for a couple of years and worked in high-risk maternity mostly. And I just took a job. I worked night shift for many years, and it really became ingrained in me. I worked 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And I was kind of losing my shit a little bit. It's not easy working those hours. No. And so I just took kind of a job. Now I do advocacy work for low income, at-risk pregnant women and women who have just had babies. So we're trying to close the maternal and infant mortality gap. The United States has the one of the highest levels of infant and maternal mortality in the developed world. So it's a big problem, and a lot of it is because there's so many like social determinants of health, we call them. You know, so many people that just don't have access because healthcare is so expensive. Here in the States, and you know, doctors are so afraid of getting sued that a lot of times they, I think, make decisions that they might not make otherwise, just to kind of get the baby out. You know, they react a little bit more than just kind of waiting it out. And a lot of women that don't have as much money or as much access to grocery stores, you know, or public transportation here in the States is complete crap. So they live in, you know, food deserts, they call them, where, you know, they have to do all of their food shopping at like the local groceries, like the local convenience store. So that's what their family lives off of. They don't have access to like fresh fruit and vegetables. And, you know, then that affects their overall health, which affects, you know, pregnancy is really hard on your overall health.
Yeah, no,
I could talk about this all day. I'm sorry. No one wants to hear about this with me.
No, it's good to hear. I mean, you know, part of why I wanted to do this was to get to know people a bit better than just, you know, obviously Pixies is why we're here, and, you know, we have that common bond and that, but, you know, we've all got different stories to tell and live in different countries and that. So I think it's really good to be able to get to know each other a little bit more in times when we're not able to come and see each other at concerts and things like that.
Definitely.
But we will talk about Pixies. So where did it all begin then for you?
So I moved my junior year of high school, which I do not recommend. It was tough. And I moved from kind of a really big high school to a really small one in the suburbs of New Jersey. And I was kind of a little like, you know, I wasn't quite goth, but I was, you know, an alternative freak. Like I hung out with the skateboarders and I listened to The Cure and Depeche Mode, and I, you know, wore bright red lipstick, and I would actually put baby powder on my face to make me even more pale than I already am. And that was my whole get up, and I wore all black and Doc Martens. And as you can imagine, I didn't, you know, I was not really fitting in great at my new school. And I finally found my little subculture of weirdos. And one of my friends, my new friends, her father worked in the music industry. I'm not sure what he did, but he would bring CDs home, which was like the new technology. It was like very fancy. And he brought Bossanova home, and it completely blew my mind. I remember listening to it on the way to school, and we listened to it nonstop for months on end. It just completely changed everything. It was so much more fun than, I mean, I still love The Cure. They're still one of my favorite bands, but Pixies just shook my world.
Yeah, as they did the rest of us, I think. So that's why we're here. So yeah. Okay. And you've been a fan ever since then. So Bossanova was that was the first album that you heard then, was it?
It was, yeah. And then I had to do, you know, a little bit of backtracking and start listening to all their other stuff. And then, you know, it was pretty much The Cure, the Beastie Boys, and Pixies were pretty much Nirvana, Hole, all that kind of stuff was my entire childhood. And I grew up in a very music-centric family. My dad always had music on in the house. He's a big like Moody Blues fan and Fleetwood Mac. So, you know, music has always been such a huge part of my life. So it was nice to finally found my home. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I definitely appreciate it.
And you stuck with Pixies all the way through then? You've always enjoyed their music. Have you got a favorite album?
So I'm definitely Team Bossanova. It brings
back
Bossanova? all those feels of, you know, growing up and riding around in my friend's car. She had a convertible and just, you know, listening to that album. And I think that's, you know, such a big part of the music that we grew up with. You know, it brings you back to that place. You know, new music is fun too, but old music really brings you back to where you were when you discovered it. And I don't know that you could really capture that again as you get older, you know?
No, probably not.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
That's what it is.
Yeah. And your friends as well, growing up, were they all Pixies fans?
Yeah, the little group of, you know, weirdos that I hung out with, we all pretty much listened to all the same music, and they all grew up to be like super cool and like still listen to really good music. And yeah, we kept it going on.
So you're still friends with a lot of them then, even though you call them weirdos?
Yes, I say that in an endearing way.
I know.
Yeah, for the most part, I mean, Facebook really helped because, you know, I moved so much. I lived in the city and then I moved up to Connecticut, and it's so hard to I'm not great about staying in touch with people. So Facebook really helped me reconnect with a lot of people. And I don't get down to Jersey as much because my kids are older and busy and in sports and stuff, so it's hard to get away. I don't feel like driving like 3 hours down to Jersey on the weekends to like hang out with my dysfunctional family. It's just not what I'm into.
Not your thing.
No.
So of all the Pixies albums and all the records that they've released, are you able to just pick one that would be your number one choice?
So definitely Team Bossanova. Doolittle and Surfer Rosa probably come in as a tie for the second one. Excuse me. And I love the new album. I listened to it a ton, and I think it's magical. It really, you know, and I love Indie City and Head Carrier as well, but Beneath the Eerie really sounds to me familiar. It sounds like their old stuff to me. So that one resonates the most with me out of the new work.
Sure. Okay. So just boiling it down to one track then. If you can only ever play one Pixies track for the rest of your life, which is it going to be?
So I knew you were going to ask me this, and I tortured myself over this question. So I want you to hear my whole thought process.
No, that's fine.
So it really does depend on what kind of mood you're in. Like, are you in like a chill, like Valoria mood? Are you like wanting to like, you know, work out or go for a run or clean your house or something, and you need like, or thrash around at a concert and listen to Debaser,
or you're a bit angry and want to shout a bit.
Yes, or like bounce at a show, you know, Vamos, and that's probably my favorite song that they do in concert live. I love Vamos; it's so much fun. But then I think that when it comes down to it, my all-time favorite Pixies track is Gigantic. And there's just something about, I love female vocals with an instrument, like a guitar, a piano, a bass, just the bass line in that. It's just, I think that would have to be my favorite. That would be it.
Okay. It's going down. I'm writing it down at this very minute, so you can't change your mind now. Okay.
Nope, I've put lots of thought into this.
No, I can tell. Well, that's a great choice. So, and I think a lot of people would go along with that choice. So, okay, great, excellent. So, Gigantic it is your number one Pixies track. So obviously Bossanova was when you were introduced to them, and then not too long after that, the band split up. How did you feel about that at that time?
So I was, not loving that news, obviously. I started, it's a busy time in your life. I was, in high school, and there was plenty of other music out there. So I didn't know. I mean, who knows what the future holds? Maybe they'll get back together. Maybe, who knew? So then Frank Black came out with his album the year that I graduated high school, and it just sounded great. It was like I listened to it every day. And Teenager of the Year completely blew my mind. Like, that is still one of my favorite albums.
Yeah.
There's not a bad song on that album.
No, that's very true. Yeah. Okay. So you're going to have to choose at some point a Frank Black as well from his solo career. So I'm not making this easy for you. I know, I do appreciate that, but everyone gets asked the same question. So.
I know, fair is fair. And I was prepared. Luckily, I wasn't the first one, because that would have really stressed me out. But, I knew that these questions were coming.
Yeah.
So my favorite Frank Black song is Headache.
Okay.
I just love this sing-along kind of song sometimes. And I don't know, that song makes me happy. My kids love it too.
And do you like the video?
I love singing that.
Do you like the video?
Yeah, the video's cool. The videos are fun.
It's fun.
The videos are always so, like, I don't know what the word is, like esoteric. They're so, like, otherworldly. It's not, they don't always make sense.
He looks a little bit weird in the video, doesn't he?
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit.
Okay.
He would have fit right in with my weirdos from high school.
And did you get to see Frank Black during his solo career?
I didn't. So this might be a little embarrassing to admit, but, we all go through phases.
Yeah.
And after high school and college, I got really into, like, the Grateful Dead and Fish.
Yeah.
And you kept a very straight face when I said that. I'm actually impressed.
I'm not here to judge you.
But I toured, not with them, but I followed the band for a while, went to quite a few Fish shows, and I still really do enjoy their music, but it got me kind of out of that scene for a while.
Sure.
And then I ended up getting back into it as I got older, because the whole Fish thing, like, as they got older, some of their songs were just a little too long for me. I don't know if I didn't have the attention span for it anymore or what was happening, but I came right back to my roots and went right back to the music I listened to in high school.
Okay. And getting to see Pixies and that, I guess, living in that part of the United States, it was relatively frequent and relatively easy, was it, to see them?
Yeah, for the most part, we're really lucky here, on the East Coast. There's so many places to see live music, and bands, usually they never stop in Connecticut, hardly ever. Like, they love to forget about us, but they go usually to New York and Boston, and we're 2 hours from New York, 2 hours from Boston, so we could always hit shows if we want to. Pretty lucky.
And you didn't get to see them at Newport, the folk festival, then, on Rhode Island?
No, which I should have, because that's so close to me.
Okay.
It's like, again, that's probably an hour.
Yeah, I guessed it was quite close to you. Actually, I remember that trip I was telling you about. We went down through Rhode Island. It's absolutely beautiful around there. Providence, and Providence was really, really beautiful. So.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Did
really
you see any of them? Did you go on any of the mansion tours or anything in Providence?
No. We were literally sort of driving back to New York. I say New York. We flew into JFK, but we actually flew out of Newark. But we were on our way back down there. So no, we didn't have time, and we lost a day as well, because a mate of mine who I was with, there was three of us. A mate of mine left his pair of his glasses in a motel that we were staying at. So we had to double back one day to go and get his glasses. So we lost a day. So unfortunately, we just saw it from a car window, but it looked really beautiful driving down through Rhode Island on that. So,
yeah, it really is something.
Yeah. But it'd be lovely to get back there at some stage. So.
Yeah, I know. If the world ever opens back up, we would
It
love
will
to come
do.
out to Europe.
Oh
Yeah,
no, you must
eventually.
do. Yeah, you must do. Yeah, yeah. We'll certainly give you a friendly welcome if you're able to come out some stage. So it'd be good to
Oh,
see
we
you.
would love that.
Yeah.
We would love
So
that.
you didn't see Frank Black in his solo days then? When was the
Did
first time
not.
that you saw Pixies live?
So I didn't see them until the Indie Cindy tour,
Okay.
which I'm kind of embarrassed to admit that I everyone is such good like fans of music, but I took a bunch of years and was just in like mom mode and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
still listen to music a ton, but wasn't really discovering new music.
No.
And I went to see the Indie Cindy tour. It must have been like, I don't even know, like 2000, when did that come out? 2017, 14? 14.
14, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
And
myself now. I'd have to look it up.
but that makes me feel better. But I went to see the show with my husband in New Haven, and I didn't know a whole bunch of the songs. I didn't even know that they came out with a new album.
Okay.
And I was like, what is happening? So I left that show and I was like, I am the worst fan ever. And I downloaded everything and I like listened to it. And then I missed the next album too. I missed Head Carrier. The same thing happened to
Okay.
me.
Yeah.
I just wasn't paying close enough attention.
Well,
And
you're a busy mum and busy at work and that, so other things take priority, don't they?
yeah, it was definitely a busy time. And then I went to see, so that was the first show I saw when they played in New Haven. And then I saw them on the Head Carrier tour again in New Haven. And then I saw them in Asbury Park, which in New Jersey, which is the greatest place on earth to see a band. Tim
Okay.
Purcell can counter that because we just love it there. It's like right on the ocean and the ocean right behind you, and it's
beautiful.
outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
But I went down with two of my friends to that show, and they're not really into music as much as I am. Mm-hmm. And I was so sad when I left there that I searched up the group, and that's when I discovered the Facebook group, and then I found my people.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff. And I know you saw them in New York as well, didn't you? Because I've seen a video of you dancing along with Meg beside you.
Oh
Meg,
yeah,
who of
Meg's
course we saw when she came over. She came over last year. So we've met Meg, and it looked like you're having a great time there in New York watching the band. That
was probably the best show I've ever been to, and it was, the band was great, but it was really the people that made it great for me. It really is like a family, like this group of people. I'm so lucky to have them all. I have concert buddies now. I have like lifelong friends. It was amazing. I got to meet Adele. I got to meet at a different New York show. I got to meet the Flynn's. I got to meet Meg, of course, and Danielle, all the way from Australia.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And Suni got us right up at the rails, and Sandy. Sandy and I were going to actually go to a show, Dropkick Murphys in Boston, but COVID took care of that. But Cameron and Bob are like my usual concert buddies because they live so close. But it's just been Jen all the way from Montana. It's just such an amazing group of people.
I can tell by the smile on your face talking about it.
Such good memories of New York. Like that was just really something special. Like we went down the night before and had dinner with the whole group, and I had brought my kids, and I had forgotten my hat in the restaurant. Right. And I wasn't worried about it. I didn't even realize I forgot it. But some of the Flynns, I think, took it. And Mike Flynn carried that hat all over New York City for me and gave it to me at the show the next night.
Oh. He's a top man, Mike. I haven't spoken to him yet, but he's promising to come on and have a chat with me at some stage.
Yeah. Just the most wonderful people like Steve Z and Christopher. Like I took the train into New York by myself and like took the subway. And I used to live there, so I kind of know my way around, but I hadn't been there in a long time. Like I've been living in suburbia for all these years, so I was a little nervous.
Yeah, of course.
And they completely took me under their wing. And Greg Gisson even gave me, I had forgotten my AirPods, and I was like upset about it because I was going to have to like ride back on the train, and I'm like, great, every weirdo is going to be talking to me. And he
yeah.
he like gave me his like earbuds and it's like, here, just take these, and I mailed them back to him. But just such an amazing group of people, you know.
It really is. Yeah, it's lovely. We've got a lot to thank Pixie White for, I think, setting up this group and the way that it's turned out. It is really lovely that we can meet so many like-minded people from literally all over the world and make long-lasting friendships and that as well with people, as well as enjoy the music together. So
definitely,
yeah,
it really is something special.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So you touched upon, obviously you chose Gigantic, which is a Kim song. How do you feel about Paz and the sort of place that she's taken from Kim? Well, obviously Kim decided she wanted to leave, but how do you feel about Paz and then the sort of direction that she's helped take the Pixies in now?
I love Paz. I think that the Pixies' new sound wouldn't even exist without her. She is a musical genius. Like, she brings this whole next level of composing, and it really says a lot that, you know, Frank Black allows her to write songs and take a little bit of the lead, because, you know, as we've heard, that was, you know, an issue with you know, Kim. But I mean, I've heard her do Gigantic, and she does an amazing job. It's amazing because she doesn't try to sound like Kim.
No.
She does it her own way, and it's just as beautiful.
Yeah, no, I think that would be the worst thing, wouldn't it, if she tried to be an imitation of Kim? So, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I got to meet the band, at least 2 members of the band.
Oh, cool.
I didn't get to meet Paz, unfortunately, because I was too nervous and I didn't go up to her in time. But I met Dave and Frank, you know, Frank Black. And it was Charles. Sorry, my brain. I'm getting all nervous again.
That's all right, don't worry.
But,
it's interchangeable what you call him.
Yeah, it's true. But,
and how was meeting them then? Because sometimes I think those sort of situations, you know, you don't really know what to say, do you? You don't want to come across as being sort of like all really sort of nerdy and, I think you're brilliant.
Oh God, I did. Yeah, I was so nerdy and like awkward. And it's one of those moments that you like wake up in the middle of the night thinking about and like can't get back to sleep, you know, one of those awkward, because I was so nervous, and Sean Rayburn was like, go talk to them. Like, that's why we're here. And finally I did. I was talking to Joey's brother, and then I finally went up and I got my pictures, and just my face in the pictures, I want to like crawl under a table because I'm smiling so big, like it hurts me to look at, and I'm all red, you know. And and then what did I say? We just like had some small talk, and Charles and I were joking around about, because I was bringing my kids to a show in the same tour. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be here with my kids. And he was super cool. He's like, oh, if you want to bring them backstage, like, you know, bring them back to meet us.
Oh, wow.
But that didn't end up happening because, you know, my connection was with Sean, and he wasn't going to be at the next show.
Oh, okay.
But he was like, yeah, you know, how do your kids like my music or whatever? You know, my kids are always here too. I'm like, oh, they freaking love it. Like, it's great. I'm like, you know, of course I do get the question, like, mommy, what's a whore? And he's like, oh yeah, sorry about that. I'm like, it's okay. It is what it is. So
you can't go back and rewrite them, can you, to make them child friendly?
No, that would defeat the purpose. But we got to laugh about that. But then the part that makes me cringe was, as he was leaving, I like went into this like mess of like how much he inspired me, and oh my God, why?
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, he was just like, okay, like, yeah. And he took a picture with me, and then
I mean, it's a nice thing to say. It's a compliment to him, isn't it? So, you know. So
yeah, I thank you for making me feel better about it. It did feel super dorky though.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I've said things like that as well. I spoke about a couple of interviews ago when I met a band, an English band over here called Echo and the Bunnymen, who I really love, and I met a couple of them as well. And you know, they invited me backstage in this tiny little club that they were playing where I was at university, and I ended up saying stuff like that. And afterwards, I was like, oh, geez, why did I say that sort of, oh, I think you're really great, all this sort of things.
Yeah, I know, exactly. You're like, what made me say that?
What else do you say? Yeah, but what else do you say? You know, So
exactly. It is. It's so cringy, but they must hear it from every single person they meet. Yeah. I'd like to think I'd be way cooler next time, but if there is ever a next time, but I probably won't be. It's just what happens.
You'll have to prepare a question for next time in case it happens.
Oh yeah, maybe
like
you could
a really
help me
sophisticated
with that.
question. So.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you what to ask because you're like the interviewer. Give me some pointers.
I wouldn't know what to ask either. I'd need plenty of time to think about it. So next time you go into a show, let me know in advance, and I'll think of some questions for you. So.
Okay, that's the thing. I had time to prepare. Like I knew I was gonna likely meet the band, and I still like came off like a complete nerd. Oh well.
But you can't have been that bad though. If he said, if Charles said to you, bring your kids next time you're, when you come to the show tomorrow night, bring your kids behind, afterwards and that. So you can't have thought that you were too much of a nerd. So maybe he likes nerds. Maybe he likes the nerdy fans. So
that's true. I mean, really, I don't want to insult anybody, but I mean, I think we're the coolest bunch of people out there. But
of course,
I mean, I don't know if we were in high school, but we are now.
Absolutely. So moving on to Frank Black and the Catholics. Are you a fan? I can't speak now. Are you a fan? Are you a fan of the Catholics' work?
Not a huge fan. I think it was Jeff's interview where he like really kind of captured. I hate country music, and I think he put it perfectly. Like it sounds like Americana. It's not quite country, but I think it was him that said it. But it a couple of their songs, like California Bound, I like. What's the other one? My brain. Do you feel bad about it? But that's more of like a poppy kind of fun song. It doesn't sound like a lot of the Catholics. My husband's a bigger Catholics fan than I am. But I can't really get that much into Wilco either. I feel like they have the same kind of feel to them.
Right. Okay.
I don't know. I need a little more like pop to my music or something.
So your husband's a Pixies fan as well, then, is he?
He is. He's been to a couple of the shows. He's met a bunch of people. And he at first thought I was totally crazy. He's like, you're going to meet people off the internet? Like, are you sure that's safe? And, we had all these jokes about how I was going to be like kidnapped and like murdered and, because that's the way we joke around with each other. But yeah, exactly. But, so far so good. Have not been murdered or kidnapped by any of you guys. So
excellent.
Not yet.
So, but he accompanies you then, does he, to some of the gigs just to keep you nice and safe? In case you meet any English weirdos.
Exactly. No, I think he's, we always have like a running joke that he steals all my friends because my husband has like a big personality and my friends end up becoming like his friends. And then he like, they don't leave me for him, but I feel like sometimes they might prefer him to me, which is kind of rude. And he's starting to steal my Pixies friends. He actually joined both groups. Right, so we're going to have to put a stop to that, I think.
You need your own special place, don't you?
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. Okay. So not the biggest fan of the Catholics. So what I did, I think with Gail White over in New Zealand, she wasn't a particular fan. So I did let her choose a track from another band, which actually coincidentally was Cure. I know you've mentioned about the Cure. So if you don't want to pick a Catholics track, is there a Cure track that you'd like to choose?
Oh gosh, I wasn't prepared for this question.
Okay.
I was I thought I was doing such a good job.
You can still go with the Catholics. That's absolutely fine. I'm just giving you that alternative if you want to take it.
No, I appreciate that. So a band so The Cure, definitely. I would probably choose like Letter to Elise. I like their kind of long, like lyrical kind of ballad type of songs a lot. Yeah. But another band that I absolutely freaking love is Tegan and Sara. Okay. They're from Canada and they're like, they're identical twins and they're just, again, with the girls and the guitar and the piano, like it's just simple vocally, and I just freaking love them. And they have this song, Where Does the Good Go? And that is my favorite, probably all-time favorite song.
Right. Okay. I'm making a note of that now.
In fact, my daughter's name is Tegan, but I didn't name her after the band. It just sort of worked out that way. But yeah.
And have you seen them in concert?
Yeah, I've seen them a bunch. They actually released a book about their because they're both gay. They're both lesbians.
Okay.
Which is pretty, interesting. But they wrote a book about like growing up gay, and they did like sort of like what the Beastie Boys did recently with the book tour, where they just like came and told stories from their like growing up, but theirs was about high school. And I couldn't get through the book because I have a kid in high school, and they were doing stuff that I hope my kid is not doing, like dropping acid and sneaking out and having sexual experiences. And I mean, I would just like to not even know about that. Like, I don't even want to think about it right now. So I'm going to put the book down for a few years, but they did like a book tour, and it was an amazing show. I definitely encourage you to see them if, if you ever get the chance.
And what about The Cure? Have you seen The Cure when they've been over to the States to play?
I did. I saw them at MSG, Madison Square Garden, which is like actually where I met the Pixies.
Okay. Oh, wow. Iconic place as well.
But it's, I don't know. I had like the cheap seats, and, they were still like $70, $80 seats. Because MSG is like a complete ripoff, it's like one of those big stadium places where the band looks like they're this big, and a beer is $20, and it's just it's tricky. But so I did see them, but only in a big stadium like that, which really kind of isn't as much fun as the small clubs that you usually get to see, like Pixies in.
But you still enjoyed it though, seeing The Cure, I guess, if they're one of your favorite bands.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And they've been touring again too. I didn't get a chance to see them when they came to the States last. They played at MSG again. I don't know what was going on up here. I think I was like working nights, and I just couldn't get my shit together enough to like order tickets. So I think that's what happened there. That was my excuse for a long time. Now I don't have that excuse anymore. But if they come back, I'll definitely go.
Well, he's still going strong, Robert Smith. He's I think he's into his 60s now, but he's still getting the hairspray out every day and doing his hair and getting the lipstick and the eyeliner on. So I still think there's still a few years left in him.
Perfect. I saw a meme recently that said showed a picture of him, like, and he was looking a little ragged, and it said like, when your Nana gets up and sings karaoke like after a few drinks, and I'm like, oh no, it does kind of look like that.
And I was reading about him. I think it was last year they headlined Glastonbury Festival over here, and he's saying, I mean, the amount of years that he's been with the band and that, he still gets nervous before each show as well. So I mean, you said, like talking to me now, you're a little bit nervous at the start, and he still gets nervous, and he phones his wife up like 10-15 minutes before they're due to go on stage, just to sort of calm his nerves and that down as well. So you imagine that after all those years. They do. They have like
such a beautiful love story too, those two. Like, they've been together since they were like 14 or something, like throughout all his craziness and fame. And I guess he said at one point that the reason why he became famous is because his wife like didn't think he could do it, which is like the perfect example of what a marriage is, right? Like, oh, you don't think I could be a famous rock star?
Well, I'm going to show you.
So we have her to thank.
And once lockdown is sorted out and out of the way, and we're back to sort of normal world, you're looking forward to getting back and getting out and seeing bands live again.
Oh gosh, yeah, you have no idea. I'm sure you do have an idea. I think we're all kind of suffering. It's been, that was what I did for fun. Like, I'm not like, I don't watch sports. I don't, I don't get to travel as much as I would like. Music has always been my thing, my release. And, it's been really hard not having that.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I don't know when this is going to end.
No, I don't think any of us do at the moment, do we? And at the moment, certainly over here, it seems to be going a little bit backwards as well. We seem to be making decent progress, and now it seems to be going a little bit backwards again. So,
Yeah.
Who knows?
Same.
Who knows? Just as soon as possible. That's what we're all hoping, I'm sure. So,
exactly.
Okay. Kristin, it's been absolutely lovely speaking to you. Thank you so much for your time.
You too.
It's lovely
Thank
to meet you, and
too.
hopefully one day you will get over to the UK, or maybe we'll get over to New England again, and we'll pop by and see you. It's certainly
You're
a lovely
always
part of the world.
welcome.
I'd love to see again. So, thank you very much for your time.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Take care. Have a good one.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.